Good morning, children. Now I am going to take English for you. Okay, children. So if you have English textbook, please open that English textbook, page number 22. Okay, children. I think all of you have opened. In the last class, I explained you about the poem. That is poem name is Let's Get Busy. So you must be busy every time, no children. Now this is a lesson about be kind and do kind. You must be kind to others and you want to do kind for others. Okay, children? Lesson name is Be Kind and Do Kind. I'll read the lesson. Listen carefully. Okay, children? Are you jealous of your friends because they go ahead of you in studies? Jealousy has ill effects. Don't be jealous of your friends. So you must not be jealous of your friends, whether he is rich or poor. Okay, children? Once upon a time, there lived a farmer who had a little land. His name was Mohan, and he was very kind and good-natured person. He lived in a hut on his land with his wife and children and earned by selling whatever crops he could produce on his small land. Mohan loved to help others. Whenever someone fell ill or needed something badly, Mohan was there to help that person. If someone died in the village, Mohan assisted the family members of the deceased person in whichever way he could. If anyone fell ill and at the night, Mohan was right beside the village doctor to help him prepare the medicines and attend to the sick. There seemed to be none who hated this man. He appeared to be loved by one and all. But there was one person who hated Mohan with all his heart. He was Sohan, a neighbor of Mohan, who lived in the land next to him. A lazy person by nature, Sohan hardly put in as much effort to cultivate his land as Mohan did to produce crops in his own. So when the harvest season arrived every year, Sohan found that he had very few crops to sell. Sohan, on the other hand, earned a handsome profit through the selling of his product. One year, Sohan could no longer contain his jealousy. Just as before Mohan was to reap his harvest, Sohan set fire to his crops at night. Mohan was asleep at this time, and it was only the alertness of one of his other neighbors that saved much of his crops from being perished in the deadly flames of the fire that Sohan had lighted. When the flames were doused, Mohan saw which direction the fire had started from. Sohan's animosity towards him was unknown to Mohan, but he let the matters rest and decided to take action only if he saw Sohan repeating his dastardly act once again. That year, Mohan managed to sell the rest of his crops at a good price, but he could not make much profit, for a good part of his producers had been burnt. He had a heavy heart, but he did not like to tell anyone about it. Only days later, Mohan was awakened by the sound of lamentations. He went out to find a crowd beside Sohan's hut. He rushed to find that Sohan's son had fallen ill. He found that the village doctor was unable to provide a cure to his illness. Mohan knew what he had to do. He united his own horse and rode it. Then he rushed to the town that was 10 miles away and fetched a more experienced doctor who lived there. This doctor was able to guess the disease correctly and provided an exact cure for it. Within hours, the boy was found to sleep soundly, and Mohan went with the doctor to take him back to the town. A day later, Sohan went to Mohan's hut and began to weep bitterly. He confessed his sins but was surprised when Mohan told him that he knew about it all. You knew that I had set fire to your crops, and still you fetched a doctor for my son, asked the astonished Sohan. Mohan nodded and said, I did what I knew was right. Could I do wrong just because you had done so? Sohan stood up and embraced Mohan. Both men were in tears, and so were the others who stood by them. From that day, Sohan changed himself within a year. He could produce many crops in his land through his hard work. When the others asked him how he had changed so much, he only replied, It was the goodness and love of Mohan that transformed me. Moral, be nice to your friends, be nicer to your enemies. Okay, children? So this is the lesson. So, in this lesson, once there lived a farmer. He had only little land and his name was Mohan, and he was kind and good natured person. And he lived in a hut on his land. He had a land and he was living with his wife and children. And he earned by selling the crops whatever he grew in his small land. So this farmer was there, that named Mohan. He loved to help others, and whenever someone fell ill or anything they needed badly, he was helping them. And if anyone died in that village, he would assist them. And because whoever died recently, he would help for them and say any matters. And if anyone fell ill, he would go to the village doctor and bring him and prepare medicine, and he would attend the sick. Okay. So nobody hated him, Mohan. So everybody loved that farmer named Mohan. But here in this another village, there was a person nearby Mohan's house. Next to Mohan's house, another man was there. He was also a farmer. His name is Mohan, and and his name was Sohan, and he hated Mohan. Why he was hating means Mohan was kind to all and Sohan was not kind. So he was a lazy person. He would not grow anything in his land. Every time he was wasting the time. So when the harvest started, he found that Sohan found very few crops in his land he want to sell, and he had earned a small amount of profit. So in the next year, when Mohan had grown more crop, there was time to reap his harvest. Sohan could not continue his jealous. So what he done, when Mohan was asleep, he came to his house. When Mohan's house, Sohan came to his Mohan's house, and he kept the fire for Mohan's field. In the field, crops was going so he set fire to the crops. So that time Mohan was sleeping nicely, and one of his neighbors saw that fire, and he poured water for the flames. And afterwards Sohan got up. So when he saw these flames, Mohan saw which direction it was coming, and he know that Sohan had done this, and he did not do anything for that. Once he thought that once again if Sohan done like that, afterwards we can ask. So and afterwards that year, Mohan, however he managed, so still crops was there, rest of the crops he went to the village and sold that and made a profit. Okay, children? So only some days later, this Mohan was awakened. He got up from the sound. So somebody was crying and shouting loudly. So that was near Sohan's hut. So this Mohan, what he done? He went to Sohan's hut and saw that his Sohan's son was lying on the bed. He was not feeling well. So nobody could cure that. Nobody doctor could cure that illness. So Mohan, what he done? He went to his house. He had a horse there. It had tied on the tree. So he removed that rope and he got back on his horse and went to the another town. That was 10 miles from his village. So there he went and he brought a more experienced doctor. So this doctor was able to guess which disease was that, and he gave the medicine. So the doctor gave the medicine. So that boy took the medicine, and within an hour the boy was sleeping soundly and his illness was cured. So after curing this boy, Mohan took the doctor and left him back to his town. So next day, when the Sohan's son was cured, Sohan came to Mohan's hut and he was crying there. So he told for Mohan that I only set your crops on fire, so forgive me. By hearing this one, Mohan told that I knew before only. So at the time, Sohan told that you know that I had set the fire for the crops, but you went to the another village and called and came the doctor and cured for my son. He asked for the Mohan like that. Who asked the Sohan asked like that. Then Mohan said, I knew what is right, I have done. You done wrong, no, so I can't also do like that. So what is right, I have done. He told like that. Mohan told for Sohan like that. So by hearing this one, Sohan got up and embraced Mohan and both were crying. So both men were tears and those who were standing beside them, so they were also crying. So from that day, Sohan changed himself and within a year he grew more crops and sold them and he got so much money and he changed himself into a active man and he was kind to other person who needed help. He was helping and he was kind to others. So if anyone asked, he said that it was a goodness and love of Mohan that transformed me like that. So moral of the story is, you must be nice to your friends and kind to your friends and be nicer to your enemies. Okay children? So I'll explain in Kannada also. Okay children? ಒಂದೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೈತ ಇದ್ದ. ಅವನಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತೋಟ ಗದ್ದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು. ಅವನ ಹೆಸರು ಮೋಹನ್ ಅಂತ. ಅವನು ತುಂಬ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಹುಡುಗ, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಫಾರ್ಮರು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದ. ಒಂದು ಹಟ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದ, ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೇ ಇದ್ದ, ಅವ್ರ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮತ್ತು ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಜೊತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೈತರೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳೀತಾಯಿದ್ರಲ್ವ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳೆದು ಅದನ್ನು ಏನು ಬರುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಹಳ್ಳಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಮಾರಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಜೀವನ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಮೋಹನ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಏನಾದರೂ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದರೆ, ಏನಾದರೂ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದ. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಸತ್ತೋದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬರೋದು, ಬಿಡೋದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರ್ದು ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದರೆ ತೋಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆದಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ವ, ಅದರದಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮೆಡಿಸನ್ ಮಾತ್ರೆಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತುಂಬ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು ಯಾರನ್ನ? ಮೋಹನ್ನ. ಅದೇ ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬ ರೈತ ಇದ್ದ, ಅವನ ಹೆಸರು ಸೋಹನ್ ಅಂತ. ಅವನು ತುಂಬ ಲೇಸಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಹರಟೆ ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವನ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗದ್ದೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇತ್ತು, ಆದರೆ ಅವನು ಅಷ್ಟಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಲೇಸಿಯಾಗಿರೋನು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದ. ಇವನು ಮೋಹನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಹತ್ರ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಲ್ವ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೋನ್ಗೆ ಇಡಿಸ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಿಚ್ಚುಪಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ದ, ಒಂದಿನ ತುಂಬ ಇವನು ಮೋಹನು ತುಂಬ ಬೆಳೆಸಿದ್ನಲ್ವ, ರಾಗಿ, ಜೋಳ, ಭತ್ತ ಎಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಒಂದು ಸತಿ ಮೋಹನ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋವಾಗ ಸೋಹನ್ ಬಂದು ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಆ ಭತ್ತ, ರಾಗಿ ಏನೇನು ಬೆಳೆದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿರ್ತಾನೆ ಮೋಹನು, ಅವಾಗ ಅವನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅವನಿಗೆ. ಅವನು ಮೋಹನ್ ಮನೆ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿರೋರು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸಡನ್ನಾಗಿ ಎದ್ದು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಜನನೆಲ್ಲ ಕರೆದು ನೀರು ತಂದು ಬೆಂಕಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹರಿಸ್ತಾರೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಬಂದು ಹೊಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಮೋಹನ್ಗೆ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಬೆಂಕಿದು ಹೊಗೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಮೋಹನ್ ಮನೆಯದು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಚೆ ಬಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸೋಹನೇ ಈ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿರೋದು ಅಂತ. ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸತಿ ಅವನೇನಾದರೂ ನನ್ನ ತಂಟೆಗೆ ಬಂದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ಹೋಗಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಆ ವರ್ಷ ಅವನು ಮೋಹನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಉಳಿದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ವ ಭತ್ತ ರಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾರಿ ಅಷ್ಟಾಗಿ ಏನು ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರೋಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ನು ಜೀವನ ನಡೆಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಒಂದಿನ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೋಹನ್ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರುವಾಗ ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಎಚ್ಚರಿಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ನಿಗೆ ಆಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕಿರ್ಚೋದು ಮಾತಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ. ಆವಾಗ ಎದ್ದು ಬಂದು ಆಚೆ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಸೋಹನ್ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ ಜನಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಂತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಇವನು ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಸೋಹನ್ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ. ಅವಾಗ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಸೋಹನ್ ಅವ್ರ ಮಗನಿಗೆ ಹುಷಾರಿರಲ್ಲ, ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರು, ಆ ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರು ಯಾವ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರಿಗೂ ಅವ್ನು ಕ್ಯೂರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ವಾಸಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವಾಗ ಮೋಹನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ನಾನು ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಕುದುರೆ ಕಟ್ಟಾಕಿರ್ತಾನಲ್ವ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಚ್ಚಿ ಕುದುರೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಬೇರೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ತಾನೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಆ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರು ಬಂದು ಆ ಕಾಯಿಲೆನ ನೋಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋ ಔಷಧಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ವಾಸಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ವಾಸಿ ಆದಮೇಲೆ 1-2-3 ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ನು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಹುಡುಗ, ಯಾರು ಸೋಹನ್ ಮಗ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಮೋಹನ್ನು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರನ್ನ ಅವ್ರ ಊರಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದಮೇಲೆ ಮೋಹನ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ 1-2-3 ದಿವಸ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಮೋಹನ್ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ. ಬಂದು ಅಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸೋಹನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನಾನೇ ನಿನ್ನ ತೋಟಕ್ಕೆ ಗದ್ದೆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಹಚ್ಚಿದ್ದು, ನಾನು ಕ್ಷಮಿಸ್ಬಿಡು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಮೋಹನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ನೀನು ಮಾಡಿರೋದನ್ನ, ನನಗೆ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಆದರೂ ನಾನು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ನಿನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಅವಾಗ ಸೋಹನ್, ನಿನ್ನ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತಾ, ಆದರೂ ನೀನು ನಾನು ತಪ್ಪು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನೀನು ಹೋಗಿ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರನ್ನ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬಂದು ನನ್ನ ಮಗುನ ವಾಸಿ ಮಾಡಿದಲ್ವಾ, ಬದುಕಿಸಿದಲ್ವಾ, ಸರಿನಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಮೋಹನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ನಾನು ಯಾವುದು ಸರಿ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀನು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತಾ, ನನಗೇನು ಸರಿ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೋ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಆವಾಗ ಸೋಹನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಎದ್ದು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮೋಹನ ತಪ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಷಮಿಸ್ಬಿಡು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸತಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲೂ ನೀರು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನದಿಂದ ಸೋಹನು ಫುಲ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆ ಹೊಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೈಸಾಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಗದ್ದೆನಲ್ಲೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬೆಳೆ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಬಂದು ತುಂಬ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾನೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಜನರೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸೋಹನ್ಗೆ, ಹೆಂಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅದೇ ಅಂತ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಸೋಹನು, ಮೋಹನ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆತನದಿಂದ ನನ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ದೆ, ಅವನ ಒಳ್ಳೆತನವೇ ನಾನು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಸೊ ಮಾರಲ್ ಏನಂದರೆ, ಬಿ ನೈಸ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿ ನೈಸರ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ enemies. Okay children, I think, any doubt children? I think you could have understood. Shall I ask some question children? What kind of person Mohan was? So what kind of person Mohan was children? So Mohan was very kind and good natured person, isn't it children? He was very kind and he was helping others. No children? Next question. How did Mohan help the family members of deceased people? So he was helping. So if someone died in the village, Mohan assisted the family members of the deceased person in whichever way he could. No children? So third question. What kind of person Sohan was? So what kind of person Sohan was? So Sohan was lazy person. He was always felt jealousy of Mohan. Next question. What did Sohan do to Mohan? Can anyone answer children? So Sohan set fire to Mohan's crop. Fifth one. What happened to Sohan's son? So, Sohan's son had fallen ill. Now children. Next, how did Mohan help Sohan? So, how did Mohan help Sohan, children? So, Mohan went to a nearby town on his own horse and brought an experienced doctor to treat the son of Sohan. Now, children, he went on the horse and brought an experienced doctor. Now, children, next, fill in the blanks. The farmer had a little land. So, in the dash you must write land, L-A-N-D, land. Mohan was a good-natured person. So, in the dash you must write person, P-E-R-S-O-N, person. Sohan said dash to the crop of Mohan. So, what you done, Sohan? Sohan said fire. So, in the dash you must write fire, F-I-R-E, fire. Next, Sohan realized his dash. So, in the dash you must write mistake, M-I-S-T-A-K-E, mistake. Okay, children. Next, meanings. Deceased means recently dead. Second one, arrived. Arrived means came. Jealousy, the state of being jealous. Alertness, the quality of being alert. Doused, pour water over. Animosity, strong opposition. Lamentations, grief or sorrow. Okay, children? Any doubt, children? I think you could have understood. So, I will give notes also. So, write in the classwork neatly. Okay, children? Thank you.